Hey guys, here's a little video refresher maybe that could help you guys out. I know most of the stuff you guys will understand and know fine, but I just decided I wanted to go over a few things just in case you need a little refresher. I'm going to go through the worship center as though you're just arriving on a Sunday, and maybe that'll help to get more familiar with it as we go. So coming in on Sunday, this will be as though the room has not been used since I left here. So we'll turn on the lights. These two switches right here. These are the only two switches we use on Sunday mornings. This is both on is full bright. One down is the dimmest for worship, and this one up is the brightest for preaching. So here we are. Booth is completely shut off, and we'll start down here. This is the main power, and without this turned on, really nothing will work. You can see it right here. There it is. So flip that power on there, and that'll cycle everything on. Console, videos, or video switcher, lighting, DMX lighting controller will cycle on. So that's turning on the main power, and once that is on, then you should be able to turn everything else on. So let's move over to the presentation computer, and really it's in sleep mode. So really all you have to do is hit the space bar, type in the password vertical, VERTICAL, and that will open up to ProPresenter. Now, if there happens to be a black window right here that is the output and it's not sensing things correctly, really the only thing you need to do is go up here to File, Quit ProPresenter, and hit OK, and close it, and then reopen it. So we'll go down here and reopen it. What that's doing is basically it didn't recognize the output correctly, and this should reset that. So there is no save command in ProPresenter, so don't worry about making sure it's saved. It does it as you make changes, so that's a plus, and it'll load. It'll take a second, but it'll load here and take us to the most recent playlist. Let's move over to the lights. Oh, let's go back here real quick. So if it says this, wants to refresh the displays, then hit OK, because that's gonna go through and check that display output is correct. So there's the first slide. Over here is the power buttons for the projectors, 1, 2, and 3. So it's the two front projectors and the rear projector over here. Okay, so that is the presentation, and let's move over here to lights. In the same way, this should have only just gone to sleep, and in an ideal world, all we have to do is hit the space bar again, and we'll do the same password, vertical, VERTICAL, and this should bring us to where it left off last time in its release mode. What release mode does is that it just shuts off the lights and takes the moving fixtures to a tone position. So in ideal world, it opens up to this, and you hit the play button here, and the lights come on. So in a non-ideal world, during sleep mode, the software might have shut off, and in that case, what you want to do is let's release the lights real quick. I'll show you that in a second. We'll close the program. Yes, we want to quit. And this right here, this HBC main, is the file that we open for lighting. So restart the computer, it'll come back up, and then when it gets to the desktop, double click on this, and it'll reopen Jan's Vista, and click reopen here, and that'll bring this up, and it should bring us back to where we started, which is to the control window. So hit open here. Click on, let's expand this real quick. So click on weekend services. Then over here, click play. And there we go. So that's pretty much straightforward on that. Again, please call me if you have any problems. We can work anything out. Yeah, so don't hesitate to call. Let's go over to the camera. Obviously, we record each service. I've got memory cards large enough that you can record the entire service from beginning to end, which is like 2 hours and 15 minutes, I think. So I'll have the cards sitting right here, and each card, there's one card per service, and it goes right here. So here's a card that's already in, and it goes in here. Close the door, and the way you turn this camera on, let me get this to focus, right there, is flip the switch right there, and it'll power itself on. And get down there, and that's kind of what it's framed at right now. For worship, you can zoom it out, and then when Pastor Trent gets up to preach, bring it in. Please refer to the screenshot that I sent in the email. That'll help you get a really good idea of where to frame it for preaching. The audio levels are right here, and they should be set pretty good for the preaching, so you shouldn't have to really touch these. There's a meter right here that shows the audio level, so you don't want it to be peaking in the red, and you don't want it to be too low. So that's one thing to be checking on for that. So that is camera. And just after each service, well, at the beginning of the service, hit this record button. Once you hit that, a red dot will appear where this pause is. It'll change from yellow pause to red blinking dot. So they'll be recording. After the service is over, hit the same button again. It'll stop recording, take the card out, and place it right here. No one will mess with it. Just put it right here. Grab an empty card. When you take it out, be sure to lock the card. See how it's got that little switch? So if you slide that down, it'll lock it. Place it here. Grab one that's unlocked. Put it in the camera, and you're ready for the next service. So as I said earlier, here's the two HDMI cords. So the black one is whatever the presentation computer is. So it'll be announcements to go to the hallway. So you plug that in during non-service times, and then the gray one, you definitely want to make sure that's plugged in to this port once service begins. So that's that. And then Chris, for you, I know you've done this before. I just wanted to go back over it real quick. We did change one thing. So if this is the sermon file, file, export, and our naming date, we go by the Sunday date. So for this it'd be 11/15. So we do 11.15.15 underscore. All right, let's just say this is the second, or the 9 a.m. service. So that would be the second service. So there's Saturday's the first service, 9 a.m. is the second service, and 11 o'clock is the third service. So underscore 2 to indicate that's the 9 a.m. service. And then instead of exporting it as MP3, we're exporting it as a wave. So you have to type in .wav. So you can see that there. 11:15:15 underscore 2, indicating 9 o'clock service. .wav, and then click save, which I'm not going to do that. So I don't want to mess up the system. Hit save, and then it'll ask for one more confirmation, and it'll save automatically to Dropbox. So right here, that's in the Dropbox production audio, and that's the bin there. So hope that helped with a little clarity there. With the audio interface, if you happen to run into problems with the music not playing or audio not going into Audacity, simply unplug the USB from this red device and plug it back in. So just unplug it, plug it back in, and then restart the software. Not necessarily the computer, but just the software, and you should be good to go. Okay, one other thing, the cross right here. I know you guys have done this before. The color's already set, so all you need to do is press the power button. And then that comes on. To shut it off, you have to hit the power button once to enable the controller, and then hit it again, and it'll shut the cross off. For the front row monitor, nothing too complicated about this. Down in this corner, there's the power button. It's just a touch thing. It's not actually a physical switch. So that'll turn on, and that's ready to go. Okay, here is how to turn on the TVs. This in here and that one over on that wall are the same. And all you need to do is reach right behind here, and there's a little raised bump there, and hit that once. And that'll come on. And then same thing over here. Little bump there, that'll come on. Now there's no signal going to those right now. Oh, there it is, sorry. Because I left the camera on. So there's that one, and that one has an HDMI transmitter to here. There's that one and that one. So those two have the same thing all the time. So that's either live video or the presentation computer. Now this TV here is separate from the system. We're standalone. So the remote is behind the TV over here. We just store that right back here. And we'll hit the power button. That'll take a second. And what you want to do is use the arrows and go up, over to apps, and then over to media player. Hit OK. And that'll bring us to what's on photos. This is whatever's on the thumb drive. Click OK on the photos. So this is the library photos that is on the thumb drive. Just hit OK to start the first one, and then hit OK again to begin the slideshow. Alright, so that's all that does. And then we'll put this right back here. Two TVs are identical, and the operation is exactly the same for each one. The remote is right down here under the table. So power on. And this one's really simple. All you do is, when it comes on, you hit this center Vizio button, and it'll take us to the media. Hold on. There we go. And then multimedia, hit OK. Go to photos. Sorry, it's hard to see that. My bad. Go to photos, hit OK. And then select this folder, which is what we've compiled with the photos on the thumb drive. Hit OK. Even though it says preview not available, click on it anyway. Start slideshow, and there it is. And it'll automatically keep going. Alright, so here we are, shut down process. It's pretty simple, not a whole lot to it. First thing I typically do is go down here, projectors, hit it twice, and it'll shut it off. Once to confirm, or to warning, twice to confirm. Same with the rear projection. Once, twice. Alright, and then my next one will be presentation. On the back here, there's a little indentation with the button. Just press it for half a second, and it will go into hibernation mode. over on the lighting computer, there's a little button right here, just to the right of the end button. So there's all these controls. This one right here is called release. When you click on that, all the lights will release and shut off. Here's the remote for the cross, off. And then this computer, same thing. Push the button for half second and it'll go to sleep. Audio, all we do is simply hit the red button.